New questions tonight about a U.S. drone strike that killed 10 people in Afghanistan. The New York Times reports the strike mistakenly targeted an aid worker, not someone connected to ISIS-K. The man's vehicle was said to be carrying bombs, but he was actually transporting water.
There's mounting evidence that drone strike killed an Afghan working for a U.S. aid group, along with 9 others, including 7 children.
A U.S. military investigation into the drone strike is underway.
We know from a variety of other means that at least one of those people that were killed was an ISIS facilitator. So were there others killed? Yes, there are others killed. Who they are, we don't know. But at this point, we think that the procedures were correctly followed and it was a righteous strike.
Okay, maybe we have different dictionaries, but if you killed one guy who you're still not sure was a terrorist, but you definitely killed 7 kids, I don't think righteous is the word I would use. You know, in fact, when you hear people use righteous, it's usually to justify terrible things that they know they've done. Like the Crusaders said they were righteous. Colonizers said they were righteous. Terrorists say that they're righteous. You killed families and children. Yeah, it was for a righteous court. F you, I don't care. Like, you know, we just observed the 20th anniversary of 9/11, and what do we say? Never forget, right? Which is a powerful and necessary sentiment, and it's true. I'll never forget. I'll never forget hearing the phone calls from that day. I'll never forget seeing the towers fall. I was in South Africa. I was a child, and I will never forget that day. But if I'm honest, I think we need to expand on what never forget means. You know, I also feel like we should never forget how easily our fear can drive us to do horrible things to other human beings. Because as terrible as this drone strike was, what's even more terrible is that when you look back at 20 years of the war, there's absolutely nothing unique about it.
The past several years in Afghanistan have seen a rise in the number of civilians killed. The first half of 2019 marked the first time that U.S. and Afghan forces were responsible for more civilian deaths.
In 2008, we have the highest civilian casualties from airstrikes. By 2011, those numbers have gone from over 550 civilians killed in airstrikes per year down to around 100. Then when the Trump administration comes in, we see a complete flip. And it really goes into the idea that we're going to bomb the Taliban in submission.
Yeah, think about that. At one point in this war, America and its allies started killing more civilians than the Taliban. I mean, that's a huge failure on the part of America. And now that I think about it, it's a failure for the Taliban too. I mean, if you're killing more civilians than the Taliban, what's the point of being there? Like if you're trying to catch the Candyman, but you're killing more people than he is, at some point people are just going to be like, all right, well, maybe we should just stick with the Candyman. At least he's got candy. What do you mean he doesn't have candy? Well, then why do they call him the Candyman? Why don't they just call him the Killer Man then? Oh. What makes it worse is that nobody ever seemed to face any consequences for these deaths. Right? There's no other job in the world where you can just accidentally kill innocent people and then show up to work the next day like nothing happened. Right? Nobody at the hair salon is ever like, hey, Vanessa, rough day today, but please remember for tomorrow, maybe use a little less conditioner and also try not to kill an entire family. Otherwise, great job. Yeah, see you tomorrow. Okay, bye. Because America's air war in Afghanistan was regularly killing civilians. And what happened? Was there a public outcry? Were charges filed? No. For the most part, no one even really cared, right? For most of the country, the war in Afghanistan was something most Americans did forget while it was happening. And that's not what wars are supposed to feel like. A war should be something that is impossible to ignore. But to most people in America, this war became like when you forget Netflix is on, right? And then they have to pop up that little thing like, yo, are you still alive?